Thanks, Jay. And former Sheriff Hilton's passing is being recognized by Governor Jeff Landry at our state capitol, with him paying tribute. Landry is ordering all U.S. and state flags here in Louisiana to be flown at half-mast tomorrow in honor of Hilton's legacy. But over in our nation's capital, Senator Cassidy is doing the same.
Sheriff Hilton was a sheriff in every positive, meaningful sense of the word. He was steady. He was committed. He was there to answer the call when the community needed him. And that kind of service is more than just a job. It was his life calling. And he lived that calling every day.
Again, visitation is from 4 to 8 tonight, and again Friday morning up until the service, which starts at noon at Calvary Baptist. And the burial will follow at Fellowship Cemetery in Elmer. The Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office is encouraging people to line Versailles Boulevard and Highway 28 West to pay tribute to the former sheriff. Law enforcement will lead a procession to the cemetery.